One of our really good friends is actually in San Diego, so I don't know how far away that is from you guys.
That's quite
Pretty
a
far from
ways
me, but
for her.
Technically close to me, but far enough to be inconvenient. No, it's south, and I don't have a car. I rely on public transit, so
Awesome.
I haven't been able.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Research reopening down there.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
I guess what we'll do is it's about 4 minutes till. So if you got to run, we'll go ahead and do a break, and then
All
we'll
right.
talk more with Jason
Yes.
when we come back.
I'm leaving you guys in good hands with Jason. Jason's a fountain of knowledge, so.
Oh, yeah. So we want to thank you for taking time to be with us tonight.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone listening, and hopefully talk to you guys again soon. Thanks so much.
All right, sure thing. And Jason, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, about 3 or 4 minutes, maybe a little longer, 5. And you won't hear anything, but your mic will be live, so don't say anything.
Sure. Yep.
So with that, let's see here. Let me get set up before I decide to do this, because I got to change something on here to do it. And all right. So who's taking us out, Jeff or Barbara? No,
We'll see if I
Jeff takes us out, right?
that's Jeff's job.
All right. Jeff, you want to take us out for a quick break? Maybe? Jeff? I might have lost Jeff for a minute. So he'll be back on as soon as we get back. So stay tuned for more of the Paranormal View, and we'll be right back with you right after our commercials. So hang in.
Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making ParaX part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal, ParaX.
And welcome back, everybody, right here to the Paranormal View on the ParaX Radio Network. I want to thank everyone for being with us tonight, those here in the chat room, those listening from around the world. Tonight we have with us Barbara Duncan.
I am still here.
And we have with us Jeffrey Gould.
Who's probably still trying to connect.
I thought he did. Maybe I have to try and get him in then. We also have Jason Snyder with us.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right. And speaking of those from around the world, Barbara, where do we have listeners at tonight?
Oh, tonight they're coming in from all over the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Unknown is back.
The unknown, dark side of the moon, right?
Dark side of the moon.
The other side of the moon.
The other side. Okay. The moonless side. All right, Jeff, we got you back now.
Yes, apparently.
All right.
When did I drop off? In the middle of my
Welcome back.
intro?
Yeah,
Right before the commercial.
right before the commercial. Yeah. All right. With that though,
Starting to get sketchy. Now, by the way, Jason, you're not on.
Jeff, you're breaking up.
Yeah.
You and TJ not, and your punch not on a whole lot of social.
Jeff, you're breaking up.
Yeah, what Jeff is saying, I'll interpret, is that neither one of you really are on social media very much.
I'm on Facebook every day on my personal page.
Yeah.
And he is as well.
But you don't have a site with a lot of info, is what she's saying.
No, we really don't. Facebook is it right at the moment.
Yeah. As we call it, a low social footprint.
Yes, as of right now. But you see, now that's going to change moving forward because I own a business, and that was one of the things that I went into this year was realizing that I was losing so much of my marketing potential on the net. So I have people working for me right now that are actually building and constructing my internet presence. And as soon as they're done with that, they are going to start working on the podcast as well.
All right. Nothing wrong with that then.
No. So I got people, but they're getting there. They really are. TJ and I started this, and this is kind of how it started. It went from an idea of, yeah, we'll maybe just do a podcast once a week. He's like, I already do a 2-hour podcast on Wednesdays. I don't want to, do it every single week. It'll just be overbearing. And I said, that's fine, dude. And then the coronavirus thing hit. So then we were doing this every week, and it was a great idea because we just wanted to get a bunch of content out there. So the last 8 weeks has been spent, talking about serial killers and the missing 411 cases and the Can-Am Project, and whether or not H.H. Holmes is Jack the Ripper, and all of that fun stuff. So, I mean, we're definitely getting there, but we're building it slowly.
Well, with the coronavirus, there's not been many people able to actually get out and do any kind of investigating for the paranormal.
Yeah.
But where are some of the places that you actually have investigated? I know a lot of people goes for the big box places and well-known places, but I don't tend to do those very much because they want too much money for that stuff.
Sure. Yeah, and here's the thing, I tried to stay away from a lot of those places early on. And we were kind of like the premier residential type team. We dealt with residential cases or abandoned buildings that were owned, that were private, previous businesses, closed down hospitals, things like that were kind of off the grid. But that you have people on your team who are like, this would really be cool to go visit, So we had what we called field trips, and that's what we would do. We would, a couple times a year, we would take a field trip, and we would literally go to, say, Waverly or Whispers Estate, and the whole thing about that is just at that point in time when we were doing so much serious paranormal investigating. I mean, we were working with psychics and sensitives, and we were loading in, a ton of equipment. I mean, we had enough cameras. We probably could have ran security for a casino. So, you have all of that. You have all of your audio. We brought a full-blown recording system into most of our investigations that we did. So we almost had like a recording studio going on. 16 times 4 cameras, so 20 cameras, anywhere from 8 to 15 recorders going on. And then any of the experimental equipment that we were using. I mean, we would use everything from, plasma globes to EM pumps to, Jacob's ladders and things like that out in the field. And just to see if we were getting, any type of, responses to those things. So basically for us, what it came down to was investigating and doing the client some justice and really, really trying hard to record and try to collect data that was relevant to what we were experiencing. So, when we would say, hey, let's take a field trip and go to Waverly or whatever, we literally just dressed down. So you just went with your recorders, maybe your cameras, maybe a couple thermal cameras or something like that. But, you didn't take, the whole kit and caboodle with you when we went to these investigations because we really wanted to enjoy them, because it does become work when you have all of that gear. And, and I'll happily say today that, all these years later, we are not carting all that stuff around. When I do investigating anymore today, I've gone back to my roots, and I'm very, very dressed down. I still love, nothing more than a notepad and a 1 or 2 voice recorders and a flashlight. I really like to go into these investigations bare bones and just get in touch with the environment. I've never claimed to have been sensitive or anything of that nature, but I'm the kind of guy who likes to go and sit. And then I might ask questions for a couple hours, and I don't want to go sit for a couple hours, So, Waverly is probably one of my favorite places to go to. Because, Waverly for me was, the first big box place that I went to that actually had experience and lived up to all of the hype that I thought at that point. So, we went to Waverly. We spent, I don't know, probably close to 12 hours in there the first time, and it was fantastic. We got EVPs. We had tons of personal experiences. We've seen all kinds of stuff. We were so excited about that we turned around and went the next year after that, and it was the exact opposite.
Right.
So,
you can't make them play on your time. They're just going to do something when they want to.
And yeah, absolutely. And it's really, really frustrating because, knowing that and feeling that in a lot of investigations is, for me, it gets very monotonous after a while. If you're not a person who can tune in, and if you're not as sensitive and you're relying on, those personal experiences and things of that nature while you're out in the field, well, you can get bored very, very easily over a period of 3 or 4 months, and a dozen investigations, hundreds of hours spent finding nothing.
Oh yeah, that happens.
It happens all the time, a lot more than what a lot of people would like to understand or like to believe. So today I like to keep my eyes open. I'm always, looking at new devices and, the new stuff that's coming out that they're using in the field. I'm not really impressed with a lot of it. I do like to try it. Sometimes people will just mail me things and say, hey, give this a shot and tell me what you think about it, which is really awesome. I do a lot of investigating with Keith Age throughout the year, and Keith has always usually got the newest, or whatever. People send him things all the time, so the very first time I ever used an Ovilus was Keith Age's. The very first time I'd ever worked with a paranormal puck was on Keith's laptop, so, we've traveled around a lot of places. I've gone, by myself. I've gone with my team. I've gone as a guest. I've led investigations in, paranormal conventions and off-site investigations during those weekends. But I still think that a couple of our residential cases here in Fort Wayne, to be honest with you, were the absolute best. And if I ever had the opportunity to ever go back somewhere and even go back in time and have more time to investigate, it would have been a Central State Hospital in Indianapolis.
Wow, really?
And they right before they shut that down, the months leading up to them shutting that down and finally destroying everything, minus a couple buildings, they left that property wide open. It was being patrolled by mounted policemen in Indianapolis. Okay. And if they found you out there, they would tell you, have a good time, be safe, don't break things. And so that for the last couple months, I think they pretty much knew that it was going to be demolished, within time anyway. So they let a lot of ghost hunters out there and a lot of paranormal investigators out there. And it was really cool that they were okay with it. They let you know that they were out there on the premises, but we only saw a mounted cop once the entire time we were there. And I want to say that, I don't know if you know it or not, Henry, but I hosted an event at the Hannah House in Indianapolis.
Right.
For many years. I took over from Daniel Garrison. And one of our guests had said, hey, look, we were just at Central State just last weekend, and they're allowing anybody and anybody in there. So it's wide open. And so we took a chance and came down in the middle of the day. So we actually spent like 18 hours. We came down in daylight and checked everything out. And then when sun went down, we broke off into groups and investigated throughout the entire night.